Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SNEAKERHISTORY10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SNEAKERHISTORY10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a LeBron James with no regard for human life. 12 seconds. Bryant for the win.
Iverson against Gill, the crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
What up, what up? Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast. My name's Nick Engvall. I'm with my guy, Robbie Falke, to talk about some women's signature basketball shoes. We've got a new one in the mix. So we figured we run through a list of all the women that have gotten their own signature shoe. But before we get into that, what's good, man? How you been?
I'm good. I'm wearing a Carhartt and not doing Carhartt things, like most people, it feels like. Nothing new there. And also, I just realized, so I do this all the time when we record. I have like an article or something on my phone, and it's 2023, and I forget regularly that I can just airdrop it to myself onto the screen and not like have to like scroll my phone to like keep it lit. But I'm good. Nick, how are you?
I'm good. It's so funny you bring up that Carhartt thing because I just got, I forget, I think my friend Miles just sent me, within the last couple of weeks, sent this like meme that was going around that was like basically like all the people that actually need workwear not being able to buy workwear, and like, you know, because of all the people wearing workwear. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Wearing the same type of thing and sitting at a desk all day long. So
it is what it is. Yep. We have some ladies doing work though. It's going to be a fun episode of Lady Shoes, right?
Yeah. One of my absolute favorites. I mean, we're going to start off with Sabrina Ionescu, who is the reason we're having this conversation.
Yes.
I don't know. What do you think? You know, the Sabrina one just kind of got unveiled. There's a few colorways coming out. Man,
I think it's the right move. It's the second female signature shoe from Nike, I believe, in less than a year. When you think about the untapped market that just keeps growing and growing, that is women's sports, like all across the world, women's sports are held with reverence. But I feel like in America, it's like, oh, the WNBA isn't the NBA, so I don't care. And it's like such prehistoric thinking. So having Sabrina truly be, I mean, she was a generation. There's been so many generational talents in the past 10 years in women's basketball. But Sabrina, with the social media, TikTok, when she was in school was like more popular, if not rivaling male athletes on different levels. So her playing for the New York Liberty, now getting her own signature shoe, her direct ties with the late Kobe Bryant and his camp. She has the pedigree to push something like this. Now, what I will say about the shoe, and I don't mean this in a bad way, it reminds me of like the Kobe phenomenon, right? The B Kobe line, which was great stuff. Nobody wanted it until he died. Kind of funny how that works. But the Sabrina stuff, from the kind of scales on the upper, which changes. That's not a specific design cue, but this specific gray look reminds me of just like an all business Kobe shoe with her name put on it. And I mean that in a good way. Little call outs to her. I love the S logo on the front. I love how they reuse the S logo on the unisex clothing line that's going to be dropping this summer also. But it's just a really clean Kobe phenomenon or Hyperdunk Low. And that's totally okay with me.
Yeah, totally. And I think, even better price point is $125, full length React foam, Zoom Air in the 4-foot. Like it really is like a modern version of the Phenomenon line. And I think the details on the shoe to me are amazing. Like, I feel like that's been lacking from like the guys line, signature shoes over the last few years too. Like, it's almost like either too forced or like just not done in a way that we care about it, And this definitely has like kind of, I'm wondering too, like, just like, the kind of like back heel swoosh aspect of it, I could see becoming almost like a staple for the line. Obviously the S logo on the tongue is super dope. When I first saw it, I thought it was like some sort of a Slam. I just saw the teaser of like that Slam logo, and I was like, is that the Slam logo? Did Slam get a Nike shoe? But they have in the past, but this is a way better option. And I think to your point, one last thing, the materials on that first colorway, and like the way I can kind of see this going is the most exciting part about it. Like we haven't really seen them embrace, like it's almost like the color story has been more prominent in a lot of signature shoes in the last few years compared to the materials. And I think we all kind of maybe subconsciously missed that about the Kobe line, right? Because you always had the scales of some sort, the textures of some sort that made you be like, you look at it and have a wow, but then when you get it in person and have it in hand, there's another level of that wow to for the people that are paying attention and really into sneakers.
Yeah, it's a front-loaded zoom setup, and I'm really happy you brought up that swoosh because in the press briefing, that upward swoosh is supposed to signify like breaking the glass ceiling, like going up, right? Yeah. So that's a really, really cool detail. There's a texture on that vertical swoosh. Just from being able to see, let's put it simply, when was the last time you saw exposed fly wire on a shoe? If you like, there's like side windows in the shoe, and I don't know if it is exactly fly wire, but it looks a lot like damn fly wire. And that's just such like an ubiquitous Nike tech nowadays that nobody cares about fly wire. It's just part of shoes. But yeah, a good throwback. Like I brought up in less than a year, Elena Air Deladon. That's a completely different basketball shoe than this. And I bring that up because it's not like Nike's pigeonholing women basketball players into, oh, you guys are all smaller than men, low top shoes for everybody. No, Deladon's like, she's tall for a human being, but WNBA super tall, post player, stretch. So having like the high top, ankle support, I believe it's also mobility friendly zip-in shoe that ties to her sister, I believe. Fly ease, that's what I'm looking for. But Sabrina's a completely different player. Sabrina's quick, fast, off the dribble, pull up, making plays. So to not pigeonhole those two athletes who are completely different players into one type of shoe, I think is the right way. Nike basketball, for the most part, is all 3/4 or low tops. There's no like, they're all kind of not in a negative way per se, but they're all like a Paul George and a Kyrie and a Ja really all kind of fundamentally feel and look the same. But Nike's two most recent basketball shoes for women, completely different look and feel. And
you brought up one thing that I think is really important when you first started talking about it, like the Hyperdunk-esque aspect of it, even though it's a low, right? Like you can kind of see how this shoe and the Deladon could actually become even like team colored shoes for the NCAA, for the WNBA, and almost fill like that gap. Because like, I don't know if maybe it's just me, but like we haven't really cared about the Nike basketball, like middle of the road team shoes for, I mean, they did like the GT cut and that, but like, and we talked about it on the podcast, but like, we haven't really cared about it since the Hyperdunk, right? Like the Hyperdunk, the Hyper Rev, like that era of like, or that energy around like just basketball shoes you can see everywhere is missing. And to me, this is like a perfect way to even like cover that aspect of team sports, but in a way that elevates the WNBA and the stars in the WNBA too. So I'm super stoked on this. I'm really, the first colorway is like one of my favorites. I know there's a few others that are out there, the Ionic, the Spark, the Magnetic, but that first colorway, I forget I forget which one that actually is, but if that's the Ionic or the Spark, but I'm definitely going to try to grab a pair of those when they come out.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the GT cut stuff is the successor to what Hyperdunk was. But I mean, Jordan Poole wears, any player who should be or is wearing GT cuts are just rotating those out between Kobe's because they don't want to burn through their Kobe's too fast. Like nobody wants to wear that type of basketball shoe anymore from Nike basketball. And I mean, like the proof's in the pudding. Everything on here is a GT blank or a signature shoe or a super budget model, or it's a budget model of a signature line from an athlete.
Yep. So
it's like not a lot. There's the GT stuff is really the only option. And I think Sabrina's going to give people that choice. Let's keep it one more. Breanna Stewart, another New York Liberty player, her Puma stuff last year. Puma from a 1-2 punch with LaMelo and Stewie from a performance tech pack. Damn, like that's one hell of a year from Puma hoops.
Absolutely.
Stewie stuff got more play and shout out and love from male players than most of what any sneaker brands putting out in the basketball line. Like Breanna Stewart, I think if you know basketball, and people like Kevin Durant speak about this all the time, it's like your favorite hooper watches WNBA. Like they understand that like those are extremely talented, amazing athletes. And Stewie stuff, she's been at that level, right? I mean, Sabrina was at University of Oregon, but UConn, baby, like Stewie, you do well there. It's like you're set forever in women's sports, like icon. And that Stewie stuff is just so good.
Yep. So we talked about some of the more recent signatures, but Sabrina becomes the 12th WNBA player with a signature shoe. And one of the people that I would love to one day get on the podcast was the first to receive a signature shoe from Nike. And I tried to make this happen a while back, and I'll have to go back to the conversation. But one of my favorite shoes of all time that just never released in a size that I could fit, the Cheryl Swoops, the Nike Swoops, like with the I don't know if it was called a tech wrap type thing back then, but it kind of had that like strap around the ankle and then across the forefoot. And that it actually had I don't know if people remember this, but it was 95-ish. So it had the same elements. And this is why it was so important to me, probably on top of being like the first women's signature shoe. It had like very similar elements to like the Go LWP, the Penny One, like the lining of the shoe of that black and white colorway had like a very Penny One material or like kind of pattern on it. But I just thought that was like one of the dopest looking shoes, and I still a bucket list shoe to me. I want to wear it though. I don't want to just buy one to have one in a smaller size. But hey, if anybody at Nike is listening, what is that? A women's 14.5 in the original Swoops or the retro version? Let me know.
He'll take it.
I'll take it.
But I mean, what's really powerful about that is Nike keeps a relationship with Cheryl. Like she was, my friend posted something on campus and Cheryl was there like earlier this week or last week. So to not, and that's a really beautiful partnership, right? Because I mean, not to make it about boys, but like Charles Barkley wears Nikes, but he doesn't give a crap about like his CB line. Like he doesn't get paid off it. Like I wonder if he does get paid. I wonder. But anywho, like Cheryl is just directly intertwined with her footwear and the brand still, and that's the kind of stuff any athlete dreams of. Shout out Chris Webber. Can't enjoy stuff like that. But no, the Air Swoops is one of those. I believe it had a Nike phone ad when it released too. Just only iconic shoes got that. So
yeah, totally.
The company you hold, people, very important. And then here's a really big one. Pun intended. Rebecca Lobo, center. You see her commentating, telecasting, and very talented. I think she's on ESPN still, or she's been all around. Great commentator. Yep. But Rebecca Lobo, 97, the Reebok Lobo. Think about 97 and look at the design of the shoe. It is so part question, part Shaq shoe for a female center. That's just like 1 and 1 makes 2. It kind of just works in the best way. Like the the Reebok Lobo. I think that would retro and do well. It's like a Fila disruptor in a positive way. If a disruptor had style, you'd have this shoe.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. So next one on the list, Lisa Leslie, who I thought it was super dope that Nike kind of gave her credit with that dunk that released last year.
Yeah,
haven't done that. Like, I think there's like, it's not enough, but there is a trend of like, let's appreciate these women that have been a huge part of the Nike, story over the years. To your point, like having Cheryl Swoops involved and on campus, and like, when they brought that shoe back, and like, all this is such a huge opportunity. I think with the Swoops line, I can't remember how many shoes they did with her. But I just remember that that one shoe that I just thought it looked like a like Tim Duncan shoe. It was like
the Total Air 9.
Yeah, big ass bubble on the bottom. Yeah,
huge, but it had like a quilted upper. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, like a luxurious Ferrari seat. I don't know, but I mean, Lisa Leslie. Here's a real fun fact: Robbie was at the very first ever WNBA basketball game ever to be held at the Los Angeles Spark and the Liberty of New York. That was in, I don't think it was Staples yet. It must have been at the old Forum, but in 97, no, Staples was built in 97, right on the cusp. But yeah, I was at the very first games. Like I saw Lisa Leslie, and
that's
it's
awesome.
Like, I think anybody who grew up with basketball, like in the 90s, grew up with Lisa Leslie. I mean, 2000s grew up with Lisa Leslie, but like the same reason why the Sabrina shoe is good and the Stewie shoe is good. The Rebecca Lobo shoe was good. The Cheryl Swoop shoe was good. The Lisa Leslie shoe was good. Is there's no like gender defining like real. It's like a good shoe. Period. You put that shoe up next to as like a contemporary, right? 1998. Let's say the Garnett 2, right? Let's just put it next to a contemporary. You put the Lisa Leslie Total Air 9 and the Garnett 2 side by side. The Lisa Leslie 2, I mean, Lisa Leslie looks better than, in my opinion, than the Garnett 2. Like,
I mean, I think the next one on the list, Don Staley's shoe, like S5 and S5 too. Like, if you walked into a store, not, like, let's say you're removed from sneakers for a little while, you walk into a store and it's like all 90s basketball shoes. I honestly think people would be gravitating towards the S5, because that shoe was like, this is kind of blasphemous, and I apologize because I really love the Peyton, the gloves, like, but like the S5 is like, in my opinion, aesthetically a better shoe than maybe even the glove. I know that might be a little hot.
I agree with you.
Hot take, but the shoe is so beautiful. It reminds me of like, it just reminds me of that era, like 98, 99, that like we're moving into a new era of design, but we haven't quite embraced like foamposite material or, any of those like super like hyperflight, ultraflight kind of like high, like not overpriced, but like high end expensive models. And that shoe, I mean, I'm obviously a sucker for that like 4-foot upper strap on there, but and she had like probably one of, if not the best, as far as the women's signature shoes. She, in my opinion, had the best like personal logo, right? That S5 combo thing on the strap is killer.
So let's get real next level with it. On the outsole, it's tuned there. It says ZM. Well, it's Zoom, but it has the old ZM logo on it, and it has like black and yellow carbon fiber window, so you can see the carbon fiber through the midsole. Wore it to the, I believe, the 2000 Olympics. Yeah, it would have been the 2000 Olympics.
Yeah.
But no, this shoe is better than any Gary Payton shoe to release. Yeah, we can leave it there. We can let the commenters do what they do. But I mean, it really is a generational. Again, you could put this shoe next to a glove, next to a KG2, and it's going to be contemporary in the best way. I mean, we can keep going, right? Cynthia Cooper's, the C14. This looks like the little chrome swoosh, the mini swoosh on the medial side. I mean, on the lateral side. This bangers, man. This is like an ultimate kind, maybe what the Sabrina shoe wants to be, but like an ultimate team shoe where you can color block the hell out of the C14.
Yeah. Yep. This kind of goes back to like this should have just replaced one of the team shoes back in the day.
Yeah.
To be honest, like it's a better. I don't know. I think it's a better looking shoe, but
Kiki McRae with the Kiki Delta by Fila.
Nikki McRae, right?
Did I say Nikki?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. It is Nikki though.
Fila. Yeah.
Pardon me. Yeah, Nikki. Nikki Delta. It's the Nikki Delta. Fila Nikki Delta. Grant Hill vibes, much, right? In a good way.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what you said. It's like if the Disruptor had like a style makeover, right? Like, and then they turned it into a basketball shoe. Like they kind of almost did.
Mm-hmm. And then we got the Meek Holds Claw, BB4, and the Nike Shox Meek 2001.
My least favorite on the list. I still can't get with Shox. Sorry, Shox fans.
Yeah, I mean, this is the least inspired of all of them because it's just a BB4 with holes in it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, power to her, though. Nothing wrong with that. And it is funny because in this post, there's an old, like an actual BB4 next to it. And it just doesn't do anything aesthetically better to the design. It's just like changing it for change sake.
Yep, totally. I will say we'll put links to like some photos and articles about this, but she had the first claw logo, right? Because it was the H that would look like had like the Wolverine things going through it, kind of, which was pretty dope.
Very dope. Yeah, it is kind of Wolverine-y, huh? Now that I look at it, digging it. Now we have, I think, right, the LeBron James, or what's the Diana Taurasi of the WNBA? Who knows? But the Air Taurasi and the Shox DT, which is Diana Taurasi. The Shox DT remind me of like the Hirachi 2008. Not really feeling that. But the Air Taurasi is a banger. That's like a classic, just like no frills Air Max, and it's great. But the LeBron stuff is where it's at, though, right? Everybody wants Diana's LeBron PEs.
Yeah, that's the trouble, right? Once you have that PE line come for somebody, like it takes away from their own PE line. So, and obviously some of the LeBron PEs she's had are just, she's had undeniably some of the best PEs in the LeBron line, probably better than some of LeBron's.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, better than, yeah, we can have a whole episode on Diana Taurasi steez because she's always had, like Diana Taurasi is just like, again, another UConn alum, but just like a hooper is a fucking baller, man. Just like she doesn't play any games, but she's also like really fun. She's not like a Kobe doesn't play any games, but sometimes she is. But like a toned down Kobe, but still very intense. I don't know. Just a great personality on and off the court and a great kick game. And then we have Candace Parker. I mean, her Ace Commander stuff by Adidas, and she's had another line drop, whole collection last year in Chicago when she won the championship with the Sky. Yeah. 2 years ago now, I think. But
I didn't get any of the new stuff, but I actually have I have a USA version of the Commander, and I have a like a Lakers colorway of the Versatility. And she had like, so one, Adidas needs to step it up because only one signature WNBA athlete on this list.
A little weak.
But I always loved Candace's Ace logo with the 3 and the Ace script with like kind of like almost like circular heart type thing. But that was such a like underrated era for Adidas basketball too, to be honest. I mean, I haven't got the new stuff, but I want to, but I hope, and I didn't pay close enough attention to it when it came out, but I hope that they kind of continue on some of the, like, they did some of the, like the camo stuff. Like I know the Lakers colorway pair that I have has like almost like a camo midsole that looked really dope. That was like, it wasn't like over the top camo. It was just like a splatter print type of thing. But
her logo is exceptional. Ace being her nickname, 3 being the number, just like when it flows, and that's just a really good flowing logo. But yeah, I mean, Candace is, I mean, Adidas does a good job representing her, but they need to have a bigger camp of athletes than just that.
Yeah, and I think the one thing about that new, what the new is, sorry, the old stuff is the Commander, the new stuff is the Versatility, right? I think the new stuff has like a very like, I don't know. It's like honestly, it's like what the Harden line should have been, because there was a couple of weird Harden shoes recently, and and Candace's shoe looks, in my opinion, way better than the Harden stuff from those last couple of years. With the exception of maybe the new, I like the smooth, sleek, new Harden, but yeah.
There's a lull for a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So 12 women is all we've got. This is like, we need these brands to step up, man.
Yeah, but I mean, the beauty of it is, I think the progression is mounting, right? It's getting the snowball's getting bigger. Like now with the NIL, and I mean, I follow more NCAA women basketball players than I follow men, right? They're more popular, like great content, it's awesome. But like for every Sabrina, there's going to be, she's going to inspire 3 other people, that inspires 3 other people, you know, so I think it's only going to build and cascade, but 12 is a little weak, but we're getting closer, we're getting bigger. 3 in the past year, so we'll take it. What do you say? That's kind of messed up though. But for Stewie, Deladon, and Sabrina, that is 3 in the last year, and that's 1/4 of the total.
I mean, it's better than not having, you know,
exactly.
Very to your point, I think maybe we're actually moving in the right direction now. And to your point, the NIL stuff just makes it that much better, because I think it's crazy to me that women's college hoops gets more exposure and energy than the WNBA, but that also hopefully will be kind of fixed with the NIL deals, because we'll be able to actually see signature shoes earlier. For these.
I mean, if we're keeping it 100, I'm more interested in, I mean, March Madness is more interesting because March Madness is such a thing, but like 90% of the time, women's college basketball is more entertaining than men's college basketball. I mean, if we're keeping it honest. So they're coming.
Yeah, totally. Cool. We appreciate all of you rocking with us. That's the 12 women's signature sneakers for the basketball, on the basketball side of things, at least. Make sure you follow at Sneaker History, and make sure you follow Robbie. You can follow him
at RAHBEE 702.
You can find me at Nick Engvall, and we appreciate y'all rocking with us. We'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Later, Gators.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.